I'm going to take a little time to show the setup, and it's a point that sometimes gets confused a bit. Now over here in rig control, I'm using a demo radio. That's only because I'm going to do the demo here with a web-based radio, but it wouldn't matter whether you use a demo radio or a physical radio. What I'm about to show works just the same. So the important thing though is that Ham Radio Deluxe Rig Control has access to the radio. So over in the radio tab of WSJT, you have to set this to Ham Radio Deluxe. You can't set it to the radio type and COM port for your radio because both of the programs can't access the same COM port at the same time. So the way WSJT-X is written, there's a software path from WSJT-X to Ham Radio Deluxe. So you gotta have it set for Ham Radio Deluxe. Now you could at this point you could have Vox. I'm going to use Vox in this example. You can use cat commands if you want to control it that way. If you don't have an extra COM port, the best way to do it is if you have a COM port that you can exercise, and you would see that in the drop down. You'd see a COM port available. I don't have, so I'm going to go with Vox. And these are the settings that I use. I'm going to repeat myself a little bit here, but you can't use, for example, if you have a IC 7300, you can't pick an IC 7300 out of the list. That won't work because both programs can't access the radio at the same time. Rig control accesses the radio, WSJT-X accesses rig control, and then the radio. And then if you have an extra COM port dedicated for push to talk, it can't be the same one you're using for computer controller or computer assisted transmission. It has to be dedicated, which I often do, but since I don't have, I'm just going to use Vox today in this example. Okay. So then I'm actually using a radio provided by Remote Ham Radio. I could, since it's a flex, I could control it using Smart SDR, but just for this, I'm not going to fire up Smart SDR. I'm just going to have this set to upper sideband. I'm going to turn the Vox on. That way when I transmit, it'll actually key the radio, and then I'm good to go. All right, so I got that going on. And I'm not monitoring what's going on here. In fact, since I've switched to 20 meters, I'm actually going to make sure that the radio agrees. So if I drop this down to 20 meters, watch what happens over in rig control. Automatically changes it. If I go to 40 meters, it'll change it over here. I can, punch in the numbers to, well, better go back over a little bit further. I can punch in the frequency directly. I want to go to 5 point, yeah, that's not where I wanted. 3.573. I can do it that way, or I can just come over, punch in whatever I want. You might find it just easier to just go in and change the frequency here. But again, if you change the frequency here, it's going to change it on the radio. You can make sure that the mode you want is set. But we're on 20 meters, so I'm going to do that. And actually, I'm going to flip over to 30 meters because I just saw something come in that I'm interested in. So let's change this to 30. I'm going to go to the actual radio. I'm going to change that to 30. Which again, if you're not doing it that way, it's fine. Okay, as I was staging that up, I got an alarm over here, but I'm going to use the filter and just show me that here's a station on. It's lit up, which shows me that I actually need it. Now I'm going to launch HRD Deluxe Alert, HRD Alert. And when I do, it pops up this panel down here, and I can see all the stations that have come in through the decodes there. And I'm looking for Charlie 31 Mike Foxtrot. So I'm going to flip the filters to on. I can see here's where he last transmitted. I'm going to double click that, and when I do, it automatically moves me to the spot in the waterfall where he is. I'm going to change my position.
HRD Alert C31MF on 30 meters. HRD Alert
And I'm going to
F.
click this button here just to silence them because I already know what I'm doing here. I've got the work status indicator alarms turned on, and I've got the alarm set for band country. That's the only one I'm doing right now, and then I've got text to speech set. So I'm basically watching at the moment for him to start
HRD Alert C31MF
CQ.
on 30 meters. HRD Alert C31MF on 30 meters.
Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and start calling him on the next pass here. And then we'll see what happens. Meanwhile, I'll just explain. I've got the work status indicator alarms on, and I've got
HRD
the
Alert C
WSI filters on.
MF on 30 meters.
And
HRD Alert C3
announce anything that I need as it comes through here.
on 30 meters.
Again, I can see the filters here. I've also got the
HRD
alarms
Alert
set to the same thing.
R150S on 30 meters.
So as these things come in and they alarm,
HRD Alert.
all right, now he's responding, which is good news.
F on 30 meters. HRD Alert R150S on 30 meters.
So I can see, he's clearly calling me. If I wanted to just drop down the filter and just
HRD Alert
show the ones calling me,
R1.
I can see that.
HRD Alert.
We're going to get this one in the log.
MF
Boom,
on 30
and then,
meters.
automatically that
HRD
updates
Alert
the
R1.
that updates the work status indicator for Andorra on 30 meters. And if I come over here into my awards for
HRD
DXCC
Alert R1
and
50
click on refresh,
on
this is
30
going to go to
meters.
2175. So I
HRD
just put
Alert
another one in.
C31MF on 30 meters.
So I'm going to get rid of the
HRD Alert
verbal
R150S on 30 meters.
Since I'm sitting right in front of the computer, there's no sense in having those things go on. All right, I'm going to unfilter the work status indicator filters. Now, as I'm looking at this field here, I can see all of the stations that I've gotten decodes for. Now, some of them, when the call sign's not recognized, it's going to show it an alarm. Now, some folks have said, well, gosh, Mike, I like to color all these things, and in the work status tab, you can set these colors. But the problem is that there's just too much, and people say, well, I like to see it from across the room. You can see it from across the room because it's going to be automatically shaded when you need it. So let me talk a little bit more about these options over here. If I look here to see, I've got, this is, I'm in the DX cluster options, but they work the same. People, use this. I recommend against it. If you're using the work status alarms, it's going to shade it anyway. If you could select as many of these as you want, depending on whether or not you're looking for If you want to work all states or DXCC or zones or grids, you can set them up. This is an option to skip alarms for calls already in the log. We still have some adjustments to do for that, but eventually you'll be able to select that box and it won't keep notifying you like it did for me a moment ago. If your QSL types that qualify for your award are QSL cards and Logbook of the World credits, then that's what I've got listed. That doesn't mean that's how I'm going to confirm my QSOs. It just means these are the confirmations that count towards the awards I'm interested in. All right, so I've got HRD Alert going over here, and let's work some more DX. Now I'm going to turn the filter on, and I can see that really the only stations that have been new ones for me are this one that, R150S, which really isn't new. I'll have to look at how it's being recognized by the country list. But C31MF, I worked him, so there's not really anything recent in the list, so I'm going to unfilter this. And then I've got my alarms turned on. If you don't want the alarms for work status indicators turned on, then you don't have to have it turned on. So I'm gonna start up. I double-clicked on EA4EQ. You can see over here in WSJT-X, it automatically started transmitting when I double-clicked on the CQ. I can see that he's in Spain, somewhere in the neighborhood of Madrid. And if I click on this right here, and if I have Google Earth running, it'll take me right to his QTH. And I can drill down in here and see what his operating conditions look like. And so that's where he's located in Madrid. But you can see I've gotten a response back from EA4EQ. And I could look at the calling me and I could see that up at the very top. And I'm responding back again. And now it's going to pop up. Wants me to put it in the log. I'm good. There it goes. Now, this is it. Let me show in the options here under HRD Alert. If you're using something in addition to Ham Radio Deluxe and WSJT-X, you kind of need to have this multicasting enabled. You can find some information on our website about this, but there are only 2 IP ranges that work for this, so you have to read the material. But when you have this set properly, you can have WSJT-X, Grid Tracker, HRD, JT Alert, and multiple applications obtaining information from. Now I've got somebody calling me, so I'm going to double click that, and then I'll have to enable TX over here, and then we're good to go. So let's see if I can put another Spanish station in the log here. So you can definitely use multiple applications like that, but the problem people are having is that they either change this to a different IP address, it's different than the one they have enabled in WSJT, or it doesn't match what's in JT Alert, and I really can't tell you too much about that other than to say, and so now I put another one in the log, boom, done. Looking good. But that's what you would do there. You can add things into your layout. So for example, I'm gonna move this over here a little bit. If I'm not interested in state or county or continents, let's just say that, I've worked all the continents. I don't need continents over here. So I'm going to go to the continent field here, and I'm going to move it out, and then click on OK. And then suddenly, I've got no continents over here, which is fine. It's just not something that I'm chasing. So I want to make sure that he actually got my confirmation there. I didn't get a 73s from him, so I'm just going to click it again. So it's this is kind of the face of DXing now. What you have to kind of do is work them, and I often come back here to the DX cluster where, again, you can have the work status indicator alarms running in both. They work off the same parameters, but you can enable them or disable them separately. Now, a lot of folks would have in the past a whole list of things under the alarms that they need. They might list, 20 countries, and enable them all. But you don't need that with the WSI alarms. You just basically turn it on. It knows what you need, and you don't have to mess with these alarms here. So some folks you can still use them, but it's not necessary anymore unless you have something specific that you want to get alarmed on. Let's see, let's work somebody else here. See what comes in the next batch of, okay, I'll work this one here. All I did was double click on this station here. I can see it up here in the lookup pane. I can see that he's in Cuba. If I click on this, it'll take me over to where his QTH is there in Cuba. Go down to find out a little bit more about what his neighborhood looks like. And we can see now that he's answered me. And here in a moment, we'll have him in the log. There we go. Easy. So let's look at a couple other things you really need to look at over here in WSJT-X. Under General, these are my settings that I use here. There's nothing fancy about this. I just have my location, call sign location up here, display, and I have it set to double click or enable TX when I double click. I talked about the radio. The audio is here. Reporting is another one that you'll want to look at. So just pause the video here and go back and look at how you have this set up, because these are the settings that you're basically going to want to use. Somehow in this, if you can set up this multicasting thing, but look at our documentation on our website for that. But that's what you do here. I made no changes in the frequencies or colors, nothing in the advanced. So the tabs that I'm interested in are General, because that's where I put my information in. Radio, of course I've got Ham Radio Deluxe set there. Audio, and Reporting. And then over here in the QSO Forwarding tab, these things have to match. So you can see that WSJT-X is broadcasting these on 127.0.0.1, which is the local host on your machine. It doesn't leave the machine. And on port 2333, which is what I've got set over here. And then the rest of this you don't really have to worry about unless you're doing N1MM, which you can set that up. You definitely want to do the lookup missing fields on receive, fill in the fields. So this enables you to do the call sign lookup stuff when it comes in to Ham Radio Deluxe. So that's it. These are the settings that you need for it, and they work perfectly. Let's see if we can pull in another station here. I'm going to call KT3Q. He's in Alabama. Oh, he's in northern Alabama. That would be a nice operating position. Definitely. Very nice. And he's called me back, and we can see if I'm going to scroll down here, and you can see where he's called me or answered me. And then here in about 12 seconds, it'll pop it up and prompt me to log it. I'll log it and we're good. Right about here. Or not. Another thing to point out while this is happening is that down here, you see the data kind of come in waves. We call them passes. So in the first pass, we get data coming in from WSJT-X. Okay, so I'm getting some other calls here. I'm going to try to finish up this QSO with KT3Q. Okay. So you can see the coloring of these, call him. So under the C column, this is your DXCC all-time new one, the at-no column. And this is the DXCC band column and mode column. And if it's a green check mark, it means I've confirmed that particular country, either as a new country or on band or mode. Same thing for grid, we've got band and mode, and you can see whether or not you've worked this particular grid or confirmed it. If you want to just, I'll show you in a minute if you're just interested in grids, how you can hide the ones you don't need. Same thing with county, state, zones, and so on. Now you'll notice when this data comes in, it fills the data, we call it in two passes. The first time through, it's going to fill all that you see it filling data that it's already got, and then you see it updating data that we go out to your lookup sources to get. And it really happens pretty quick. You can see when if I'm looking over here at the timer over here, where it's at 15 seconds, watch when we get a new, last time it brought in 2040 codes, it just brought in 22. And it filled out all the fields that needed to get filled very quickly. I'm not going to get this guy, I don't think, so I may come back and call the N7 station here, which I think I'll just do that. Nope. Back to the YO. Okay. So I'm going to tell him C73s, and there's another one in the log. Now I'm going to go and answer this one. So as I was saying though, if I only wanted to work grids, for example, then I could set up my alarms to show me only grids. Okay, well, I'm going to work another one here. So I don't even know if a lot of times I edit the videos before I post them. I'm just noodling around here at the moment, so I might not do that, but I'm just clicking on things and getting them in the log here. Okay. All right. Here's another one in the log. I'm going to go ahead and let the 73 run out, and then I'll finish up with N7JB. So that'll go in the next bunch. As I was saying though, if I'm interested in country, I can have the alarms and the filter set to country. If I only want to see countries that I need, then I can flip this down. On the other hand, if I want to just show me, only show me grids that I need, I can see grids or countries that I need. So I'll leave them both there. And then if I turn the filters on, I'm only going to see decodes when the band mode column here is not green when the band for a grid is not green, or when the band country is not green. So you can kind of filter it down to what you're looking for. Let me give you another example. If let's say I'm a county hunter, and that's what I want to do. I want to look for counties, or let me just say I want to look for counties or new countries. And now the only things showing in the display are counties that I need. So if you're a county hunter and you really want to see counties, you can do that. If you want to, for example, if you want to do parks on the air, you can come over here to decode filters, and you can add one that's, let's say, POTA. And I don't know whether there'll be any POTAs on here right now. But just in case, I'm going to put POTA up here, and I've got POTA where I'm going to look for that in the text of the message. And then over here, if I bring it down to POTA, there's nothing on there, but if there were, that's how I would do that. Okay, so let's see if there's anything else I want to raise. I answered that one, and I did, but maybe he just didn't hear my 73. So I'll finish that one up. One of the things that I'll do is pop over here into the DX cluster and kind of get a feel for where the action is. I saw one that was highlighted here that would show me it was a new country on 15 meters. So hey, let's go see if we can do that. So let me flip the radio over to 15 meters. I've already logged him, so I'm going to hit cancel here. So as I'm setting that up, I'm going to wait for this to finish up. Okay, good. All right, I'm going to unselect the monitor because I don't want chaos while I'm moving these things around. I'm going to change that to 21074. And I'm going to clear all this stuff out because I'm on a new band. And I'm going to clear these out and start over. Okay, here comes some decodes coming in. Now I'm looking for BV4WU. And while I'm waiting, I'll just work NP3DM. He's in Puerto Rico. Come over here and see where he's located in Puerto Rico. There we go. Right. See if we work him. But I'm really looking for the station in Taiwan, which was spotted by V7CC. So I may have to turn the beam here in a second. Okay. So I rotated the beam over more towards East Asia, and I can see a bunch of Eastern Asian stations coming in. Here's D1DX, which by the way isn't isn't a valid country yet. So that's why it's showing up. It doesn't have DXCC status yet. Still looking for BV4WU. So they're showing an alarm. So this is the point about I don't need to color everything. If it's an alarm and you want to see it from across the room, if you're coloring everything, you're not going to see it. So you might as well let the alarms color them for you. And makes things a lot easier. Okay, in this video, I'm running version 6.8.0.71, which we published just a couple days ago, as of the time I'm recording this video. Let's see here. They're flying by pretty quick, so I'm going to go back here and make sure that I'm not missing something. Now here we go. There's the station I'm looking for, and he's in QSO with someone from Kosovo, I think is where that is. Change the filters because I'm not really going to be looking for county. That just takes it down to the countries I'm looking for. Give him a call. This might be a tough one. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I don't know if he's going to answer me or not, but nonetheless, this is kind of a soup to nuts how you go about using WSJT-X with Ham Radio Deluxe, using the new HRD Alert feature over here in Ham Radio Deluxe. It's, I've got people telling me that they're working new ones by the ton, and I know I'm putting a lot of new ones in my log as well. Oh, it looks like I'm going to put a new one in my log right now. This is what I was hoping for. Right on. In the log. Beautiful. And this is, if I go back over into words tracking and refresh, this will go to 2176. So there you have it. In the course of the video, I put 2 more band countries in there. I'm kind of trying to outrun my buddy to 2,500, so we'll see how it goes. So that's it. That's it. That's all there is to it. And I got another station calling me, which I will I'll call him. This is Indonesia. I got in a little late on that. Through that one again. I already put him in the log. I'm going to hit cancel, but I just want to make sure that he gets my response there. Make sure that's all good. Okay, so I will answer the next station here. And I selected him over here. I'm going to see if I turn the filter off over here, the WSI filter, then I can see the stations that are calling me if I just want to see them. Hey, worked him. He's going in the log. And I'll work the N3 DNA station, then I'll probably call it quits. If I scroll down here in my log, you can see pretty much everything is FT8. There's a few FT4s, CW, QSO squeaking in there occasionally. Yeah, that's that's what we got. These are the days of FT8. There's a lot of activity out there, obviously. So I'm going to pull in this one, and then meanwhile, say 73s to you. Go back through this video if you want to see how the application actually gets configured. If you have any questions about the application and how to get it configured, or you can go to support.hamradiodeluxe.com and you can type in who's calling. DNA, good. You can put in, if you put in alert, it'll show you setup and configuration for HRD Alert or for multicasting. So I mentioned earlier, if you have a need to use multiple applications, here's how you set it up in WSJT-X. There's comments in here about what to do in Logbook, what to do in JT Alert, what to do in Grid Tracker, and then you restart the applications, but that's the procedure for doing that. So again, you can find that on our support page. Maybe I'll work a JA before, a JA before I close it down. What you're seeing here in the HRD alert screen again, the CQs are green. The ones calling me are red. This is just like it is in WSJT-X. The ones that are hitting the alarms are going to be dark. I think it's maroon. Some people say it's black, but regardless, the ones that are causing alarms are the ones that are highlighted like that, and they're also the ones that you're going to see if you turn the WSI filter on. And you can enable the alarms here. You can modify the alarms over here. Your WSI alarms and your WSI filters. That's basically it. So 73s to you, I'm going to shut this one down.